At 6 a.m. sharp, I opened my front door, still brushing my teeth, mind you, and found four strangers in identical green jackets demanding I hand over half of my home because I was too young to manage property responsibly. Yeah, that was the beginning of a war I never asked for, but definitely finished. I'm Ethan Blake. I'm 24, single, and I own an 1890s sandstone house in Ridgevale with wraparound porches, a ballroom, and century-old oak trees taller than most HOA egos. Bought it from a retired judge who swore up and down the place was free and clear of the local HOA nonsense from down the hill. Sycamore Falls, they call it. His documents were airtight. Deeds, maps, surveys. My property was legally off-grid from any HOA reach. Didn't matter to Clarissa Monroe, the self-declared queen bee of the Sycamore Falls Council. That morning, she waved some fake-looking clipboard in my face and told me I was violating Covenant 43 Alpha, a made-up rule that said young people can't own more property than they know how to utilize. I asked her if she was joking. She raised an eyebrow like I'd just confessed to a felony and said, "You seem emotionally underdeveloped. Our charter allows redistribution of idle assets for community harmony." Translation: she thought I was too young and too alone to fight back. She was dead wrong. 2 weeks later, I started getting pastel-colored envelopes in the mail. Actual fines. $500 for visible trash cans. A demand to cut down my oak tree. Threats of liens. I nearly choked on my coffee. That's when I sent the whole pile to my cousin Laya, civil litigator with a laugh that could shatter glass. "They can't enforce squat," she said between snorts. "You're not even under their jurisdiction. But keep every document, every patrol video. This is going to be fun." So I did. I upgraded my home security system. Cameras, audio, a whole evidence archive. Every time their green jacket patrol crept onto my property to measure flower beds or mutter about my swing set, I caught it. One night, I caught them mid-debate about whether I had any sense of antique value. They were talking about a rusted iron swing set, an heirloom from the judge who sold me the place. They were obsessed. Not with the house, with me. Then came the breaking point. A courier showed up with a certified letter. Inside, a pre-filled quitclaim deed. If I signed it, the HOA would get half my property, including the ballroom, so they could build a youth enrichment annex. In return, I'd get a gracious honorary membership and have my fines wiped clean. I called Leia. She laughed so hard I thought she was going to need CPR. Then she stopped laughing. "This isn't just ridiculous. It's fraud. That's an internal transfer document. Using it against a non-member. That's criminal." I wanted more than just a cease and desist. I wanted them exposed. That's when we launched Operation Mirror. First step, recon. I posed as a potential buyer and sat in on one of their public HOA board meetings. Clarissa presided over the meeting like she was running a Fortune 500 company. Except everything smelled like burnt coffee and desperation. I snagged one of their printed bylaw pamphlets. Later, I compared it to the one archived at the county clerk's office. 12 pages didn't match. They had manually edited their own rules without ever filing amendments. That single fact invalidated every citation they'd ever issued. But I needed firepower. Cue my buddy Nate, a drone hobbyist whose footage once made the local news. I owed him a favor. I handed him my security videos, the fake deed, and the mismatched bylaws. He called me a week later, grinning through the phone. Get ready. This is going viral. Just before the story broke, we laid the trap. I drafted a settlement letter addressed to the HOA board, enclosing a cashier's check for $10,000 as a courtesy, in exchange for lifting the fraudulent lien they'd filed against my title. I dated it for 9:00 a.m. Monday, and mailed a certified copy to myself for legal proof. Here's the twist. It wasn't a real check. It was printed on non-negotiable stock with "void" etched in UV ink. Totally legal. Totally useless as currency. But if they tried to deposit it, intent to defraud. Monday morning, Leah and I walked into the HOA office wearing business casual and tiny body cams. Clarissa looked like she was about to win the lottery. She handed me a release of lien document, signed and sealed. I gave her the envelope. She thanked me, walked out the door, and 5 minutes later tried to deposit the fake check at the local credit union. Security flagged it instantly. The transaction was recorded. The check was confiscated. A suspicious activity report was filed. Clarissa was officially caught committing bank fraud on camera. By that afternoon, the headline was everywhere. Rogue HOA fabricates covenants to seize young owner's home. My house and my age became the face of HOA abuse. It didn't stop there. The state attorney general opened an investigation. County building permits tied to Sycamore Falls were frozen. Homeowners freaked out. Property values plummeted. Then came the knockout punch. The HOA's secretary, whistleblower of the year, confessed that Clarissa had been funneling HOA funds into an uninsured money market account under her husband's Social Security number. We subpoenaed the statements. Clarissa had spent over $82,000 on spa retreats, a luxury Peloton, and a kitchen that looked like it fell out of a magazine. The judge, different from the one who sold me the house, by the way, was not amused. He ordered a full forensic audit, froze the HOA's assets, and slapped them with a restraining order. No board member could come within 200 feet of my property. Clarissa responded the only way she knew how: petty and destructive. She sent landscapers to cut down my oak tree. But my cameras caught the moment they fired up the chainsaw, and the moment sheriff's deputies showed up with the injunction and handed out trespass citations like candy. Clarissa was arrested for contempt of court. The bracelets, silver, matching, and locked. That night, I watched the emergency HOA meeting live-streamed from a neighbor's phone. Residents were screaming. One guy was holding up his mortgage statement, demanding answers. They voted 32-2 to disband the entire board. Clarissa and her husband were the only dissenters. And the final twist? Remember the lien that messed up my refinance? Filing a false lien is slander of title in this state, meaning triple damages. My refinance penalties totaled $36,000. Multiply that by 3 and, yeah. We filed a civil suit against the entire board. Their liability insurance was already under review for fraud, so they got no protection, no coverage, no sympathy. The jury awarded me $2.5 million in damages. HOA bank account empty. Clarissa's Peloton auctioned. That dream kitchen gone. The HOA filed for bankruptcy. And under state law, when an HOA can't pay its debts, it must dissolve. On May 1st, the Sycamore Falls Council died. Officially, legally, forever. The pool, the playground, the decorative fountains, turned over to the county. The board members' homes, slapped with foreclosure notices to cover restitution. And through it all, my oak tree stood tall, right where it belonged. Funny thing, I used part of the damages to build a scholarship for under 25 trade students and turned my ballroom, the one they wanted for youth enrichment, into a community library. Last I saw of Clarissa, she was sitting in a sun-bleached Honda with duct-taped windows, watching demolition crews tear down her former HOA office. I didn't wave, I didn't smile. I just sipped my coffee and listened to the bricks fall. Some bells never stop ringing. So was that justice or just revenge?